What is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario. In case you're wondering what's going on the TV back there, I am modding my Wii at the moment. I'm installing 50-something WADs on there, so that's why there's all the text just going up on screen, and it takes forever to do. But I decided I'll go ahead and make this video. So also I got a haircut because I could not stand that hair was just getting... it was getting annoying at the end of summer. I didn't want it, so I got it cut. Anyways... this is the PlayStation 4 episode of Gaming Goofs, and I hope it is a short one. Now, I know people enjoy the long episodes, but I'll say right off the bat, there's really not much for me to complain about with the PlayStation 4. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it again. Thank you for watching the series up until now. I love you all who stand by and actually watch the videos, comment, all that stuff, give me your feedback. This series overall has been getting a great positive response, so I have other stuff in mind, don't worry, but we're going to go ahead and cover the PS4 now. I'm sorry, I made the camera shake. So, anyways, PlayStation 4, I remember when it was originally, when the rumors started flying and all that, people were saying, oh, well, Sony was going to be blocking used games and all that. This was very, very smart for Sony. One, they filed a patent, so that meant they were able to sell off that type of technology. They had an idea, they patented it, it was good to go. Second, when they came out and said we are not blocking used games, and the Xbox One was, for the time being, perfect for them. Absolutely perfect. When E3 2013 came along, my God, like, how could you watch the Sony conference and watch the Xbox One conference and not say, like, even I myself, who had wanted an Xbox One beforehand, even I had to admit, Sony murdered Microsoft. Like, they went in there, they absolutely destroyed them. Just unbelievable. If you want to see what happened, go back and just watch some highlights from there. But the best part is, like, at the end when they are revealing everything, and it was absolutely perfect. Like, they were saying, okay, we got the PlayStation 4, you've seen what we've done. First off, we are getting Final Fantasy Versus 13, the game that we were supposed to make for the PS3. It's now going to be Final Fantasy 15 because that makes it a whole new game, apparently. Kingdom Hearts 3 is now in development, so that's good for Kingdom Hearts fans. I absolutely love Kingdom Hearts with a passion, so very happy to see that it is officially in development. I was very happy to see that. And then they said, oh, and we're going to reveal the price. Now, the price for the Xbox One was $499. Sony came out and said, we are selling the system only, excuse me, for $399 US. Now, when the guy was up there, when he said 390, like, right, even slightly beforehand, he couldn't even finish. You couldn't even hear what he said because everyone screamed in the audience. It was an overwhelming response. Everyone just screamed. They said that, and then the main guy who came out, shots fired, majorly, shots fired at Microsoft. He said, we are not going to be restricting used games, and there will not be an online check-in of any kind for the system. He has this grin on, he's trying not to smile, but he has this grin on his face like, yeah, we just won E3. Like, he knew he won E3. Everyone was, let me turn down my speakers, everyone was flipping out. You had people chanting, they're just like, Sony, Sony, people just chanting, going wild. Even I myself, like, people, I was talking with people on Facebook about it, and I was a few minutes behind the stream, so it sucked because I got it spoiled. But one of my friends calls me up, and I pick up the phone while I'm watching the stream. He's just like, hey Danny, so did you just see how Sony raped Microsoft? I'm just like, dude, no, don't tell me what just happened. I'm like 5 minutes behind the stream with everyone. And then I saw all that, and it's like, yeah, Sony's done for. I remember some friends and I got into a hangout that night, and we were just like, how is Microsoft going to do anything? And it was a week later that they pulled off their DRM, which was quite good of Microsoft to do, but... my God, Sony, this was just, honestly, this has been one of the, because of Sony, it has been one of the most exciting console wars. Like, even if you don't care about consoles, even if you don't have any type of brand loyalty, this has been exciting to watch, to sit back and eat the popcorn the whole time. I mean, it's been insane in the gaming world. It's been really interesting to see, by any means, and Sony's really been adding fuel to the fire with that. While as Don Matrick was just probably, I'm assuming he was at the back of E3 banging his head against a wall saying, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna quit Microsoft and go work for Zynga, which, by the way, is one of the worst companies ever. And you know what, now I should probably switch topics because now I just feel like this is a Microsoft bashing video. But you know what you see what I mean right here. Honestly, with the PlayStation 4, the way I look at it was this, excuse me, when they were coming out with all the things, when the details were coming out, I talked to some friends about it and I said, you know what, the PlayStation 4 is pretty much what the PlayStation 3 was supposed to be. I mean, yes, it's more powerful than the PS3. Don't get me wrong. It's more powerful than, the other systems. Very smart of them to do that. It's a lot more powerful than, current generation systems. But I was saying, like, what the PlayStation 4 is shaping up to be is honestly what the PlayStation 3 should have been this generation, but Sony couldn't pull off for some reason. So, especially now since Microsoft is really going at it and actually working for the consumer, it's going to be great. PlayStation Plus was announced. It's going to be interesting to see all this, but PlayStation Plus was announced. One thing I can say that it's good and bad. The PlayStation 2, they had the iToy on it. Didn't really go through that well. The PlayStation 3, they had the PlayStation Move, which is horrendous. It's terrible. I got one for free for Christmas from a family friend. It's god-awful. I don't recommend anyone buys it. Like, the only people I know of that really liked it were hardcore Sony fanboys. And the one person I know who actually really liked it ended up selling it because even he opened up his eyes later and saw that it was a useless piece of hardware. Like, even I myself, when I was playing it, because I've had all the motion control things this generation. I've had a Wii with Wii Motion Plus, I've had a Kinect, I've had PlayStation Move. And honestly, the PlayStation Move is pretty much the Wii without a cable between the nunchuck and the remote. But it's not as fun. So I'm just sitting there playing it and I'm like, it's cool this is completely wireless like the Kinect, but I'd honestly rather be playing a Wii because a Wii is a lot better than this. So, PlayStation Move is a failure. Now, what they're going to do is bring back the PlayStation Eye for the PS4. They're going to be doing all that. And the reason why the PlayStation 4, one reason why the PS4 is $400 as opposed to $500 with the Xbox One is because they're not packaging in any type of camera peripheral, which is nice, nice for the consumer, and honestly, I wouldn't really want a camera to begin with the PlayStation. Nothing really appealing to me. And honestly, nothing really big on the Kinect as well, even though I am getting an Xbox One and it will have the Kinect, but we'll see what happens with that. With that being said, I feel like if Sony ended up bundling, the Move, the Eye, with the system, with the PlayStation 4, they did that, more developers would hop on it, and we would see more promising things with it. The problem is that now it's just going to be a side thing, just like the iToy, just like the PlayStation Move, so Sony really isn't getting the hang of it, unfortunately. But, motion controls, they're kind of overrated. I really don't know. But so far, Sony's done a great job with the controller and all. They've done a great job with the system. And honestly, the reason why I'm mostly praising Sony in this episode is because the few issues they had with the PS4 were really rumors. And that was about it. So, I don't know. I could have turned this episode into a whole general episode about it, but who knows? I really don't know. One thing that's going to be different, a lot of people are going to have to get used to the grasp of it, is that you're going to have to pay for PlayStation Plus. And there's two people there's two different people. There were people, I was on this side, where I'm just like, oh, well, PlayStation Plus is a really awesome deal. You're going to get free games on games on games. So, $50 a year, that's not bad at all. $50, I'm pretty sure you're going to make that back within your first month of having it. While as there are other people who say, no, PS2 Online was free, PS3 Online was free. I don't care if I'm getting good deals on games. I shouldn't have to pay to play online on the PS4, which that is something I really don't understand. I don't understand why Sony's locking that behind a paywall this coming generation, but, to each his own. Really, the people who are complaining about that really just don't want it coupled with that whole Xbox Live factor, where there's so much stuff behind the paywall. And right now, we're going to see what happens. Because remember when Xbox Live first came out? Well, when it first came out, you had to pay for it. Then you had gold memberships and silver memberships. The only difference between the two, literally, was with a gold membership, you could play online, and you got demos about a week early, most of the time, compared to silver members. But you could still chat, you could still do other stuff, you could still, get content. Now, if you are a free member, it's not silver anymore, it's now free. If you are a free member on Xbox Live, you can't do anything. You could do a group chat, not a group chat, you could do a single chat, but nobody uses chats anymore. People use party chats now. It's the whole party chat thing, which is coming to the PlayStation 4, which will be cool. But the problem is now, it's pretty useless being a free member. on Xbox Live, whereas when the 360 first came out, it wasn't that bad. And you even had free weekends and all, which sometimes they still do. They're picking that back up, but it really all depends on how it is. So, I don't know, my only fear is I don't want Sony to say right now, okay, we are only going to be putting online gaming behind the paywall and we'll be good to go. And then I don't want them in the next few years to be all like, oh, well, you know, if you have PlayStation Plus, you get this game early. Or you get this demo early. And then eventually they'll be all like, oh yeah, you know, if you're a free member, you can't really do that much unless you have a PS3. But hey, you know, PS4, that's where it is. The only thing is, I really wish they went into Gaikai streaming a bit more. It was just kind of one of those things they mentioned and they dropped and that was it. In case you don't know, neither the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 are going to be backwards compatible due to the x86 style architecture of the CPU systems of the two. The problem is with that is it's just not going to work properly. Now the Xbox One, they're pretty much saying right now, no backwards compatibility, but I want to see if anything happens. With Sony, they have said there's going to be no native backwards compatibility. Hence, you know, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3. But they're going to have Gaikai style streaming, which will allow you to connect to the cloud and essentially stream PS3 and PS2 games, and I believe PS1 games. They said it's not going to be out when the system is released, but it's going to be out next year. We're going to give you details on it later. I'm really interested in seeing how that works. And mostly, if you have to pay for a game a second time, because I don't really find that fair, I think what they should do is you take a game, like let's say I own Heavy Rain on the PS3. You pop that into your PS4, and it loads up the game, and it says, hey, this is Heavy Rain on the PS3, and then it pulls it off Gaikai, and you're able to play it off there. Now, yes, they might lose some money off there, but it's also Sony, so they're still making bank on, like, everything. But with all that, I would say that Sony has definitely done a great job with the system overall, and again, this is a very short episode compared to the others because, and most honestly, it wasn't even an episode, if any, because I was mostly praising Sony as opposed to showing their goofs. Most of their goofs I really covered in the Sony overall thing because they really screwed up on the PS3, but I can say that they're really redeeming themselves on the PlayStation 4. With that being said, all they have to do is launch properly, show that they have a good system, show they have a good lineup, a good infrastructure, and it'll be great. It'll be perfect. Now, maybe, I'm hoping this won't be the case, but this episode will become irrelevant if the PS4 comes out and it has one of the worst starts of all time. So, we'll see what happens with that in a few months. It is now November 15th, I believe, when the system's officially coming out, so we'll see how the Xbox One compares to that, because I know they're going to be launching very close to each other. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thanks for watching, and if you have any other topics now that I've covered Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, the Wii U, and the next-gen systems individually, the Wii U, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, if you have any other topics that you'd like me to cover, like goofs on and such, please let me know. I'm open to recommendations. I have other things coming up as well. I'm going to have another series starting up called College Pro Tip, which is exactly what it is, College Pro Tips, that I think people should know. I'm also going to have another series, I have it written up, where, Tales from the Classroom. I want to start that back up again. Trust me, I've really wanted to start it back up. I just haven't really had any gameplay footage to commentate over. And the gameplay footage I do get, I commentate over with other stuff. So, I'm wanting to start it back up, though, especially since school's starting back up. But, we'll see what happens. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone.